Cast your minds back to the year of 2017. We were blessed with such gems such as Shape of Water, Good Time, War for the Planet of the Apes, and of course, the classic Jigsaw.
I speak for the dead.
Boo! But for me, there's one film that I remember that is near and dear to my heart, and it involved a giant, big gorilla.
Is that a monkey?
Run! Kong Skull Island, rated PG-13. I'm gonna come.
That's right, in 2017 we got the second entry to the Monsterverse in Kong Skull Island. So this film served as both the second entry in the Monsterverse and a reboot for the King Kong franchise. And since the last one was Peter Jackson's take on it back in 2005, it was pretty cool seeing King Kong back in theaters. Instead of it taking place in the 1930s, you get to have some good old-fashioned 1973 Vietnam-era flashbacks. So pretty much it was an all-new story to tell with the big gorilla. So, you know, I got no complaints there. And you may be wondering, how did they execute it with this new movie? Well, pretty well, I say. I think that Kong Skull Island is an interesting film where it has moments of being good, but has a few flaws that hold it back from truly being great. But I'm going to start with the positives before I get to the negatives. The positives of Skull Island is the action, the VFX, and the soundtrack. With the action, it was a good mixture of seeing Kong wreck shop and showcasing the other creatures of Skull Island. It's kind of like that good mixture of the Peter Jackson movie, and they knew how to pretty much just carry that formula to here, where we didn't want to see the humans fighting too much, but we saw Kong wrecking shop, protecting people, and even killing some other creatures. So I think that's pretty cool. Adding along the fact that the monsters designs I thought were really, really well done. I want to praise the VFX team for making such great designs and visuals. I'm gonna mention the Peter Jackson Kong film again, but they really used the template of that and just built upon it. And I think one of the best examples of that is how they designed Kong himself. This film has a good form of the still growing Kong, because this isn't fully formed Kong. He's still growing, and technically, if you want, he's like a teenager in this film, the teenage Kong. Wow, that's another question, a teenage Kong. But he's still growing. It's just a great design to showcase he's strong, but he's not at his peak. He's not where we know he can get to. And that makes it a little bit more interesting to see how this Kong turns out in this film's universe. And lastly, the soundtrack is just great. I know the common thing to say is that the Vietnam War had some great music, and to be fair, in the era of the late 60s and early 70s, the music was amazing. Of course, you got hits such as Bad Moon Rising, White Rabbit, and Run Through the Jungle, but I'll even say that the original music that was made for the film was really, really well done. The music department was not slacking at all. Alright, time for the bad stuff. I think with Kong Skull Island, I would narrow it down to two things that I feel are the biggest negatives of the film. That being both the writing and the characters. Now, I know monster films aren't known for their memorable characters or even sleek writing style. With Kong Skull Island, it's no different. Besides John C. Reilly, John Goodman, and Samuel L. Jackson, there is no other character that can leave the viewer captivated and remember off the top of your head when you're thinking about this movie or even describing it. And that's no fault of the actors. I think everyone did a fine job of what they were working with. I just think that the writing didn't really hold it to make memorable human characters, and kind of led to a very confusing, and not confusing, more like sloppy plot. And it's weirder because one of the scriptwriters is Dan Gilroy. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he directed 2014's Nightcrawler. So I have no idea what happened. Maybe having three writers isn't good to really have a cohesive vision of what you want to do. You gotta be on the same page. So maybe that's the case, but I don't know. It's just weird. Kong Skull Island was released on March 10th, 2017 on a budget of $185 million. After its run at the box office, it would go on to gross $568.6 million worldwide and become the highest grossing film in both the Monsterverse and the King Kong franchise. Overall, I'll say Kong Skull Island is a very good entry into the Monsterverse universe. I know it's not the perfect film, and a lot of people kind of say it's the worst Monsterverse movie, which I don't understand, but damn it, I still think it's a fun film. 7 years later, and it's just entertaining as it was back then. And if you want to get ready for Godzilla x Kong 2, go ahead and watch Kong Skull Island. And I'm going to give Kong Skull Island a final grade of a B+. So let me know down in the comments below, did you like Kong Skull Island? And what's your favorite monster movie? Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
This is fun! Hello.